I'm back. Yes, I'm back from Italy. I made it home safe. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, my last video, I was stranded in Rome, but I ended up getting on the plane the next day. Um, Took a long trip. I had to go from Rome to Toronto, Toronto to Montreal, but it doesn't matter. We're home, and damn, does it feel good to be home. It really feels good to be home. To finally just get back to the regular routine and get back to the grind. I want to make this video talking about my current store and the mistakes I've made recently and how I can improve. And again, maybe you can relate, or maybe you can even learn from my mistakes. That's the whole point, basically, of what I do. So right now, the current store that I'm running. So last video again, I was profitable in Rome. Um, for some odd reason, I stopped getting sales. I don't know why. Um, but all the metrics are very good. CPM actually went lower, but again, that's irrelevant. The biggest thing I look at is my cost per add to carts. I'm still getting very good cost per add to carts. So I'm getting a lot of add to carts. CPCs are very good. CTR is very good. Like, all metrics are very good. For some reason, conversions dipped. I don't know why. I've tried, yesterday night I launched a new batch of ads. I tweaked up the website, but like, I don't think that's really the issue. For some reason, conversions are dying off. With that being said, again, I'm gonna try to keep this going. Maybe at least I started it last Wednesday. Today I'm recording this on Sunday. Like, hopefully at least try till Wednesday. But again, I don't want to be spending money on something that's just not converting, right? But that's the thing that I want to talk about. And what I've realized lately, how, I was in a slump before. I haven't, made big numbers for a while. And I've realized that a lot of my mistakes come from two things. And you can argue that's one, but I'm going to just separate it in two. And that is actually one, discipline, and two, fear. Now, I'm sure that those two factors are the majority of people's problems and the issue why they're not seeing success. So to talk about discipline, now I'm not talking about discipline in a sense of personal development. I've definitely I've had my phases in discipline, right? And I actually felt the most disciplined when I was making my biggest month. And for some reason, it just all aligned. I had the cleanest diet. I barely went out. I didn't drink. I slept. Sleeping was not the best, but I worked hard because I had money coming in, and it was my first time, so I had to make sure everything was okay. And so I was grinding. I was on my desk the majority of the day. And still today, okay, besides obviously I just came back from a trip, but still today that my discipline's there, but I want to take the discipline further. That's what I mean that I lack discipline. Back then I had a good discipline, and I kind of set the base, higher than usual, but now I'm reaching the base again. And the base is, my base of discipline is higher than what it was, a year ago, right? But I'm reaching the base, and I do not want to get under, so I want to get better at my discipline. And what does that mean? Well, I think that, for an example, right, I see a lot of people, that are successful in ecom, and one, they don't show, the full behind the scenes. Like, no one is there for hours, right? How they work, right? But two, you look at them, and for them it seems kind of like very natural. It comes like second nature to them to like make these ad metric decisions, or to make these creatives, or to find this product, right? And what I've understood is that I thought it was like that for me, but then I realized that it's kind of like you have two people and they have to do one exam. Person A, who's done the exam probably 10 times, let's just say, will now have to study less because he's done the exam 10 times. So for now, all the questions and answers to him come natural, right? It took the 10 times for him to become that way, but because he has the experience, for people that are outside, it can seem as natural. Where this person B, who's done the exam maybe once or twice, they have to study more. They have to study more to, either get the same results or better, because they haven't gone through the exam 10 times like the other person, right? So they have to put in that extra work. They have to study a bit more. So now I bring this back to business, right? And I see that so many of these people that I watch or I, look at or follow, for them it seems second nature, but it's because they have so much more experience than me. So I always thought that like the way they run their business, I would run my business, but that's not the case. So therefore, that means, what does that mean? Well, I'm very unorganized in certain things, and I want to become more disciplined and organized and track down everything. So I want to have daily tasks that I put the night before. I want to wake up in the morning and go over those tasks, get the task done, even though it's something similar like create ads, and I know I have to create ads. Just being more organized and keeping track of progress, writing down your results. You do an ad test. Don't just have the ad test there. It fails and then forget about it. I want to write down the key metrics, the KPIs of that test, and try to understand why. Write down on notes your opinion, why it didn't work, and what we can do to do better. Learn, basically. Track your progress. Because learning is the amount of times you fail but then improve on it. That's kind of intelligence. If someone fails an exam 3 times, but on the 4th time they got it, where someone else fails the exam 10 times, but they got it on the 11th, who's smarter? The person that learned quicker. They both failed, but this person took only 3 times, where this person took 10. So I'm really trying to be anal, I guess, especially with money being shorter than, half a year ago, right? When I first started, or maybe a year ago when I first started taking this seriously. And I'll get into that a bit later, fear. But because I need to make sure that every money spent on my business needs to be worth it, and I need to learn from it. Even though this money that I've spent didn't get conversions, was a fail, I need to learn from it. I need to make use of those dollars spent. And now this again attaches to the second part of why I think I'm failing, is fear. And I see it with my everyday life, and I hate it. But I do think I was put in this position for a reason. So fear, I used to never really care about what I spend, especially on business-wise. Because I was never a person that was a bad spender. I never spent something on something stupid. Like usually, I would spend something that is necessary, either good or a necessity, like food, clothing, whatever. I would never really go spend it stupidly. So I never really cared about second guess, is this purchase worth it? Because usually it was. I never was a big spender. Especially when it came to business, I was a big spender. But for me, because it was under the umbrella of business and I'm growing and I'm learning, spend it. Mistakes happen, this and that. But now that I'm in a tighter situation, right, compared to how I was when I first started, I see myself now being scared. I'm scared to test. I'm scared for the ads to be running and not hearing the cha-chings. And then it's even branched off to other things in life when I have to buy, I do my best not to buy anything, but when I have to buy something, when I'm in like a position to buy something. Just for an example, when I was on that trip, I had to take a taxi or else I'm missing my flight. I'm like, bro, I need to take this taxi. But I second guess, like, oh, fuck, it's going to cost a lot. Or maybe, I don't know, just like basically just living the daily life. I see myself being very frugal. And usually I'm never like that. But because I'm very frugal, it's really changed how I do things. And part of that makes me a bit fearful. And I truly, truly have to overcome this because maybe for other things, you want to be short. I haven't bought a piece of clothing, even though I may need like underwear or t-shirts. I'm just thinking of like things that I need. I won't buy it because like I'm being very short. But it's really come to even the business sometimes where I'm spending and I'm getting scared. It's like, bro, I need this to work. But I think that's the issue. I need this to work. I don't. And what I've realized is that I truly, truly look at it as such in a point of view of myself. I need to make 10K a month. I need to do this. I need to do that. Where actually, I think I need to really change my perspective on I need to build something bigger than me. I need to provide value to thousands of people. I need to solve a problem. I need to build a business. That's it. Not what I gain, but the simple saying of you reap what you sow. I'm focusing on the reaping, but not sowing yet. Right? So I definitely think that moving forward in the next month, I'll do things properly. That's like the general thing I can say it. I know it's a very broad term, but I think that's the best way to explain it is I'm going to do things properly in my circumstances. Because obviously properly would be do an established business, order inventory, blah, 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 whatever. I'm doing dropshipping, obviously. But just, being very careful. Being cautious, but not being fearful. It's like in the middle. I don't know how to explain it. But again, just solving a problem, doing your research, doing what you got to do to provide value to millions of people or thousands of people, let's say, through products. That's it. It's as simple as that. And to really stop looking at other people and just focus on my ideas, because I truly believe that all this bullshit on the internet is all garbage, and everyone says this strategy, this strategy, this strategy. I don't know about anyone else, but I can speak for myself that I'm very confident and I'm very capable of running a 6-figure monthly business with my knowledge, my opinions, my choices, and my skills. I truly believe that. Because especially in my situation, I can't even afford for anyone's guidance right now. So it is useless. I am on my own, but I do believe that I can figure it out on my own. With my experience that I've learned in the last year plus, through the thousands of dollars of spent on ads, I truly believe I can do it through my experience. And we'll see. I have like a month and a half before I have another big trip coming up. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for the future, even though I might be fearful sometimes. Sometimes it's not comfortable. I'm very uncomfortable a lot during my day. But I'm just glad to be here. I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm excited to have you here with me doing this together. And I do believe that my community is a branch from me. And I see it. I see the type of people in my community. Obviously, a lot of different personalities. But to some degree, I see a lot of similar traits to what I have, to me. And it's a beautiful thing because I can't wait to actually to become the leader that I always visioned to be, because I've became a good leader in a sense of creating a community, creating, relationships. But part of being a leader is leading by example and having results. And that's everything that I'm going to be working on. Excited for the future again. Thank you for watching. Now, of course, as always, I'll see you at the top.